Hi, how are you? My hair looks bad. How was your week? Did you have a good week? Did you do okay with your second week of school? It was a beautiful week. It was sunny but cool and comfortable and lovely. So I'm glad we had this week. Seems like the time's going really fast, doesn't it? So we're waiting in my family for our new baby. Kenny and I are having a grandbaby, and the whole family and all of her friends and everybody we know are all waiting for the baby. And the due date was yesterday, 2 days ago, and no baby yet. And it's a little scary, and we're trying to chomping at the bit, right? We're trying to. We want this baby to come. We want this baby to come now. And it made me think a bit about timing, because that's how I am. I want things to happen when I want things to happen. I want people to be happy when I want them to be happy. I want the day to go according to the schedule, so that I want circle time to happen at a certain time. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. I want the doctor to tell us that our child is going to be okay right now. It doesn't happen that way. I have a friend. She's young, and she found out she had this disorder, very, very rare disorder, and had to be in a wheelchair. And she was in a wheelchair for a while as a teenager. And they finally found somebody that could help them. They didn't find them quick. They didn't find them like within a week. They didn't have a doctor who said, "Oh, I know what this is." It took them a long time, like a long time. And then when they finally found out somebody who knew what this disorder was, it took a long time for them to figure out what to do. And then it's taking a long time for my friend to be able to get better. And a couple weeks ago, she walked in. I saw her walking. But it did not happen in the time that I wanted it to happen. It did not happen in the time that she wanted it to happen. And I was thinking about that because I was thinking about this timing. And I remembered there's a story in the Bible about this. I saw it in John, chapter 5. And this is kind of verses 5 through 9. There was a man who was lying there who had been sick for 38 years. And Jesus saw the man and knew that he had been sick for a very long time and said, "Do you want to be well?" And the sick man answered, I want to be well. I try to be the first one to get help, but when I try, somebody else goes in before I can." So Jesus said, "Stand up, pick up your mat and walk." And immediately the man was well, and he picked up his mat and he began to walk. 38 years. 38 years this guy could not walk. And this was back a long time ago, before wheelchairs. And then, when it was right, Jesus said, "Walk," and he walked. Here's the thing. My time is not necessarily the best time. What I want done in this amount of time is not necessarily going to work. Maybe with my friend, there needed to be more information, more technology before she could walk. Maybe this baby's not getting born right this second because there needs to be something happening. When I was trying to get pregnant with my second child, my mom got hurt very, very badly. And I had to be there for her. I had to go to the hospital every day, and I had to go to the rehab every day. And Colleen was old enough, but I didn't have a baby to worry about. It took me a long time to get pregnant with that child. And later I realized if I had been pregnant or had had the baby, I wouldn't have been able to be there for my mom. God's got a plan. God's got this timing thing down. I don't know how, and I don't know why it has to be that way. And I also don't know when I'm in the middle of it that it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. I kind of should know this. I've been through it enough. But I want it to happen when I want it to happen. In the Bible, it talks about this. It talks about the timing, about why we have to listen to God, why we have to know that God's got this. And he's got this in the time that he's supposed to have it. Ecclesiastes 3:1. There is a right time for everything. Everything on earth has its special season. Psalm 27:14. Wait. Wait for the Lord's help. Be strong and brave and wait for the Lord's help. Galatians 6:9. We must not become tired of doing good, meaning listening to God. We will receive our harvest of eternal life at the right time. We must not give up. Christ came to the world. John 1:1. Before the world began, there was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. Meaning, always, always here. 2 Peter 3:8. Do not forget this one thing, dear friends. To the Lord, one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like one day. And that's the thing. That's the bottom line. He knows. God knows. He knows when something's supposed to happen. He probably knows basically when the technology is going to come that we can use it. He probably knows when the information that we have finally gotten in our head so that we can fix things comes. And he also knows this baby's going to come when it's the right time. I think we all feel this way sometimes. I think we want things to happen when we want things to happen. I want Kenny to be healthy when I want him to be healthy. And he ended up being healthy. And it took a while. God's while. But to God, this is all like minuscule, these times. He could see the whole picture. He could see what's been in the past, what's in the future. At the same time. I don't know if that makes sense. But he's got this. I don't have this. I don't know. I don't trust all the time. But he's got this. Because he knows. And you know what? He wants us to have the best life that we possibly can have. He wants us to learn from what we've got. And he cares about every single human because he made us. It's kind of like a mom and a dad love every single child that they have, even the ones that they didn't have, even the ones that maybe have had a hard time. We still love them. That's how God is. It's not just that he knows the right thing for the whole society, the whole world. It's that he knows the right thing for me. He knows the right thing for my friend and her mom, and my daughter, and my husband, and my good friend at school. And he wants the right thing for every single person. So yeah, it's going to be God's time. And it's going to be frustrating and scary. But in the end, it's what's supposed to happen and how long it's supposed to happen. So when you're going through something and it seems to be taking forever, remember that guy with the 38 years? 38 years where he's lying on a mat. Wasn't even sitting in a wheelchair. 38 years of people walking over him. literally. And then he could walk. And there's a reason for it. I don't know what it is, but God does. And sometimes you might figure it out in the end, and sometimes you won't. But God's got it. He's got this. So I'm going to try to remember. I have no control over this. But the one who has control over it is good and cares about me and everyone. And the one who's got control over this is going to make sure, to the best of his ability, that what is going to happen is what is supposed to happen. And in the time that it is supposed to happen. So, this week, when you're waiting for something, you put it up to God. God, I know you're going to do this in your time. Just keep in mind, I'm a little bit scared. And he'll get it. All right. I love you. I miss you a lot. But we'll be together soon. Have a good week.